Hacker is a stealth-only perk deck. I don't have any loud builds for it. Thanks for watching. Just kidding. If you consider both loud and stealth, then Hacker is the best perk deck in the game. It's a very good loud deck and also the best stealth deck. No other perk deck is this versatile in both gameplay styles. Now, I don't really do stealth, it's not my thing. However, I can give you some interesting loud builds. We have to start with the elephant in the room, dodge. A lot of people tend to think that high dodge chance gameplay looks like this. I am so good at this game. Death sentence is so easy. Why doesn't everyone play like this? Those people are sorely mistaken. Dodge is very far from the god mode it may seem like. Literally being able to take no damage is not what it's chalked up to be. The first thing that needs to be understood is how dodge works. It's pretty straightforward. When you get hit, the game picks a random number, and if it's lower than your dodge value, then it dodges. Hacker can hit the highest consistent dodge in the game, 75 without any external sources. If you want to add those in, then the AI boost gets you to 80, and running through Sicario smoke gets you 90 if you pair it with the AI boost. I'll talk more about dodge as I go through the builds, so let's forget that for now. Hacker gives you this handy-dandy pocket ECM. This is like a normal ECM, but in your pocket, presumably. They have the same mechanics, a 25-meter range as long as direct sightlines exist. The difference is that pocket ECMs can't convert turrets and that they last 6 seconds. Aside from cloakers, all enemies will be stunned. Different enemies have different chances to stun and different durations, but that isn't really important. This pocket ECM takes 100 seconds to recharge, which may sound like a lot, but every kill lowers the timer by 6 seconds. During the effect of the pocket ECM, getting a kill will increase your dodge by 20 for 30 seconds. This doesn't stack, but it brings the deck from 35 to 55. If you want to keep up this dodge value permanently, you'll need to be running a bit under 22 kpm constantly. Aside from a few players I know, this is an extremely hard feat to achieve consistently, and effectively impossible for the average player. But worry not, you don't need to have this effect always up. You only ever need the increased dodge when you're moving through open spaces, or are actively in a dangerous situation. Having even 12 kpm is more than enough. Dodge is great and all, but it's not something to put your life in the hands of. Hacker also comes with bonus health, along with you healing for every kill you make during the ECM effect. Every enemy you kill will heal you for 20 health, meaning you can shrug off enemy shots almost as fast as they get put into you. Also, your teammates will heal when they get kills as well. Trust me, your Berserker friends will love it. With a high KPM setup, Hacker becomes one of the easiest perk decks to play in the game, even compared to something like Stoic, which at least requires timing the flask. Hacker has almost no effort required. High dodge values, high heal rates, and what is effectively unlimited concussion grenades makes Hacker one hell of a brainless perk deck. Making a Hacker build is super easy, and unless you really try, they will still all perform at a high level. That said, you know me. I'm going to try to put some spice on this perk deck to take advantage of its unique abilities in a way that many people have not considered. A dodge build without bullseye. Have you lost your mind, Carrot? Yes, about 4,000 hours ago. That said, this isn't a traditional dodge build, so just hear me out. Grenade launchers kill quite a few enemies, and that means you can do stupid things like this. Yes, you are living dangerously, which can lead to a lot of downs if you play too aggressive by leaving your life in the hands of dodge. However, play slower and you have a crowd-clearing machine of a build that has huge potential health gain. The dodge is also fairly high, so you shouldn't be getting curb-stomped too hard. Hostage Taker is here to allow you to play slower. Hostage Taker on Hacker is similar to Hostage Taker on Kingpin. It's not really needed, but it allows for much higher survivability. The dodge on Hacker is very high, yes, but it is inherently luck-based, not much you can do about that. Hostage Taker lets you hold your ECMs for major pushes or plays instead of using it to recover every small health shot. This build works great against everything except dozers, cloakers, and snipers. Dozers aren't too difficult to deal with, just get some crits and they should go down pretty quick. Cloakers are a little bit tougher, you better get crits or you'll be the one going down pretty quick. As for snipers, some will be out of your range and there's nothing you can really do about it. Other than that, angling shots will do the trick for most snipers. A health deck with Berserker. Now he's really lost it. Okay, well here's the thing. With Berserker, Grims have really high DPS, rivaling the Goliaths even. Hacker with Sneaky Bastard has a really high amount of dodge. Add those together, and you should be safe enough to survive most encounters. Well, it should be. Spamming Grims is also a pretty easy way to proc Bullseye, so you're basically 3-shot from death with a max of 75 dodge. Without sprinting, you have about a 5% chance to die instantly, and while sprinting it goes down to about 2%. That's not to say you won't die, just that your survivability is solid enough. You are super squishy for interactions, however, which is what first aid kits are for. Drop one down and do the interaction safely. You could also use one to heal up if you know you're about to take a lot of damage. It's not like you constantly need Berserker to make this build work. I might as well give you a Zerk method, so here's a pretty cool one. This can be done on any map in which you can safely kill an enemy and then get into cover. Simply spam the judge straight down until you get 100% Berserker. Note that this only works online for the armor regen. If you can't do this, then you'll simply just have to shoot more until the desired effect happens. Not that it will last very long. How do you make use of the ECM in this build without annihilating your Berserker? What I like to do is hit the ECM really early, and then kill a single enemy towards the end of the effect. This will maximize the time you have of high dodge without hurting your Berserker too much. However, over time, your Berserker will inevitably go away, so you will need to re-Zerk. Do your best to not kill yourself. You don't need to overdo it. For common enemies, you only need about 15% Berserker to get major breakpoints. Any more is just for specials. There's no enemy that will really pose too much of an issue to you aside from snipers. Let's talk about snipers real quick. Okay, understood? Let's never talk about snipers again. Hacker with Berserker does take some time to get used to, so it will be confusing to wrap your head around at first, but you will get the hang of it eventually. A dodge deck with an ICTV? This man must have been dropped as a child. Yeah, probably. But look, I wouldn't give you a dodge build without dodge, would I? Look, there it is. Yeah, okay, it's underwhelming, I get it. I haven't dodged anything with this during any time I've played this build, but it's more symbolic than practical. If you want practical, drop Duck and Cover Aced for Parkour Basic and Hardware Expert Basic. With the Quick Fix buff active, the ICTV can take 2 shots, which gives very solid survivability to this build. The Pocket ECM very obviously isn't useful for dodge here, but it will work as an infinite use concussion grenade for interactions and moving through open spaces. You will also be able to heal from light shots, and even heavy ones if enough enemies are around. Maximizing healing with Pocket ECMs is pretty easy. Play passively until enemies pile up, then hit the button and kill them all. This works really well if you know where enemies tend to spawn and rush through, but if you don't, then this will still work decently. With the 2-shot ICTV, you shouldn't be taking too much health damage anyway. There isn't too much to say about this dodge build. It works oddly well without too many problems. Disclaimer: I'm not responsible for you being kicked for using this build. Got it? Okay. Though I can see why I got kicked from so many lobbies trying to record footage. This is pretty much bait. Any normal person who would see the top perk deck for stealth, 2 ECMs, a silenced judge, 3 detection, no melee, and 65 points in ghost during a heist that is loud would think, yep, he's a moron. Well, I may be a moron, but that isn't going to stop me. This build doesn't have the highest KPM, but unless you just get swarms of dozers, you'll survive. Grab 2 converts and they'll deal with a fair percentage of stuff for you. You'll notice that the judge is AP instead of buckshot or HE. Well, HE would break the idea of stealth, so can't have that here. Buckshot works, but I needed something to deal with shields. DB won't work with silencers, so I was only left with AP. As is, AP isn't bad per se, just impractical. You aren't going to kill heavies in one shot unless you crit, but shields and lights are no problem. Setting up collats for ammo isn't too difficult if you are desperate. Some people think ECMs are a stealth-only deployable, but they have their uses in loud. You can stun enemies for quite a while, on top of converting turrets to fight for your team. However, note that converting turrets is a one-time thing on deploying the ECM, whereas the feedback effect recharges every 4 minutes. That said, if you wanted, you can run this in a stealth loud hybrid build. Hybrid builds aren't really practical, but do what you want.
Hello, it's me, Bay1K. Me and Carrot are close friends and he politely asked me to be his guest for his hacker build video. Since we're such close friends, I couldn't refuse it. This build is made in response to the shotgun range nerf, and it somewhat plays like it as well. Build is pretty standard for the most part, with some key differences on how it functions. Weapon choice is not unusual by itself, but non-damage boosted 160 damage sniper is rare. Many people just believe 160 damage sniper rifles are only good with Berserker, and this is just wrong. Contractor works just as well without Berserker anarchist setups, as long as you have crits. Speaking of crits, this build has Unseen Strike haste. There is a reason for this. Unseen Strike is somewhat hard to trigger with such high dodge chance, since you will be dodging more shots than you take damage. So having extra uptime allows you to basically go on a rampage on any range. 65% crit chance is the biggest strength of this build. Secondly, the dire need haste. This is also an underrated skill that will save your life from time to time. If your armor gets broken, any shot you land will stagger enemies, and yes, it does work with grace from the sniper rifle. So you can put a stop on an entire group rushing you with just a single shot. This can make your aiming a lot harder if their head goes to somewhere you can't see. But here's the thing, crit chance is so high that you will mostly kill enemies with just a shot. If that doesn't happen, you can still go for the heads to finish off whomever is trying to shoot you. Contractor has high fire rate, so you can often brute force damage by spamming in the general direction of the enemies as well. Which cop to shoot with the Contractor for maximum damage depends on the situation. If you see a cloaker or dozer in the distance, focus on them first. They have the highest health, so shooting them will soften up and kill whatever is near them in the meantime. Secondary is not that relevant, since Contractor will do most of the dirty work. Still, Swedish K is a 100 damage SMG with 32 concealment, so it fits well to the build, allowing you to get maximum benefit from low blow and sneaky bastard. Use case for the SMG is simple. If a dozer is 5 meters near you, use the SMG. You run out of ammo for the Contractor, use the SMG. With such high concealment, Swedish K suffers from some mean recoil, but you won't be using it past close range anyway. If cops are more than 5 meters away, Contractor will do a better job regardless. One thing to mention is that Contractor can unironically run out of ammo even with such high pickup rate if you are not picking up ammo boxes. If you want to have less problems with ammo, Grom is also a good choice since it has a smaller magazine. Smaller magazine forces you to stop for a second, which can save you some ammo. Overall, both are very similar and can work with this build, so what you use is up to you. I just like the Contractor because its skin matches my outfit. Anyway, thanks Carrot for having me as a guest. It was fun working on this small part for the video. So, back to you, Carrot.
Who was that low subscriber nerd, am I right? However, you guys can fix that to make him a high subscriber nerd. Bay1K is a fairly new Payday 2 YouTuber, but he makes well-edited videos with good information. He's got some solos you can check out as well, so make sure to give some of his videos a watch. That was 5 hacker builds for you to play around with. Hacker has a ton of ways to play that many people don't realize. I've never seen pubs do anything aside from generic setups with Hacker, which is fine, they work pretty well. Just remember that variety is the spice of life, so give some of these weirder concepts a go. And remember that no matter how high, to never rely on dodge and always play safely.